Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from DeltaCX.com, and we are a full service CX and UX consultancy doing project training and consulting. Hey, Itan, good to see you. How have you been? And it is our practicing. This still says office hours. That is wrong. Let's fix that. Hey, Ralitza, we've got the old gang back together. Let's fix that right now. Practicing critical thinking. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today because we are now doing this every other week. So I have a mountain of stuff that y'all have sent in. We'll do our best to go through it as fast as possible. Hello, Steph. Steph, Pier Mario and I want to buy some of your stickers off of you because we've got new laptops and we want your stickers. I'll message you. Okay, so before we jump in, of course, as always, thanks to everybody, past, present, and future, who is donating to the YouTube channel and keeping me in streaming software and in chocolate chips. I do need to update this. It's about 6 weeks old. I'll put that on the weekend to do. I see a floating smiley face. Wow, lots of people. Hugo Chuku says, I'm stuck in traffic, but I'll watch. Well, drive carefully. Just listen. Don't watch. Listen. Mariwa, hello. You are all missed. Yes. Brett, hello. Dr. Brett. Melanie, Malika, wow, everybody's here. It's like a party. Oh, hugs, hugs, hugs. Okay, so we have so many things to go through today. I'm just going to jump right in. And of course, this is an audience participation show, so I expect everybody to also jump in and give me your comments and thoughts as we go through things. Hey, Whitney, you're back. Hey, good to see that you are back. Let's take the comments off the screen because we're going to switch over to the other view, which looks like this. Let's see. Yes. Okay, good. So here's me, the optional tip jar, the chat room, and a large private browser. So this is a story from Matt Lerner from when he was at PayPal. I feel like he tells this story every week. I feel like I've seen this story 400 times. And my impression of it every time I read it is, wow, there is no accountability. Fantastic. Oh, you're in public transport. Okay, good. Don't watch and drive, everybody. So quickly, here's the story he always tells pretty much the same way. He must have this on copy and paste. At PayPal, I once wasted $1 million on a marketing segmentation to build personas. Here's what we actually learned, plus what I now do instead. First of all, the research was exquisite. Ipsos started with dozens of interviews, then fielded thousands of surveys and clustered their findings into segmentation. It teased out nuances among our merchant segments, eBay sellers, direct to consumer, multi channel, etc. Each person had psychometric scores for risk tolerance, price sensitivity, ambition, tech savvy, etc. Eventually, I asked myself, how will this help our marketing? And I realized it never would. These differences were fascinating but inconsequential. In payments, merchants basically all want the same 6 things. Buyers trust it, makes checkout easy, works with merchants' existing systems, isn't too expensive, helps manage fraud, good customer service. You don't need to be a PayPal expert to know that, and I definitely didn't need to spend $1 million to figure it out. But here's my real lesson. Personas, even well-researched ones, are worthless for marketing. Try this thought experiment. Imagine you own a beachside restaurant and you're trying to get more customers. Which one of these facts is more useful to you? Tammy is a 39-year-old divorced mother of 2 from Atlanta. She works in compliance, earns $58,000 a year, throws right, votes left. 2. Tammy is on the sweltering hot beach with 2 kids. They're getting hungry and one of them has to pee. Option 2 wins. It tells us that ice cold air conditioning and a no fuss kids menu will draw Tammy in, where number 1 leaves us guessing. As a marketer, I need to understand 5 things. 1. What do prospects stress about? So I can play up that pain in ads and headlines. It usually converts better than talking about the product. 2. Where do they look for solutions? So I can turn up there. Good search terms, complementary services that can send referrals. 3. Which alternatives do they try and how did they come up short so I can position against them? 4. How do they describe success? so I can write a great landing page. 5. What are they nervous about? So I can call out and address each objection on my landing page and in my nurture emails. How do I get those 5 answers? I discovered jobs to be done. And here's how I specifically use it for marketing. First, I interview people who recently signed up for my service or a competitor and ask, what were you hoping to do? Why is that important to you? Where did you look? What else do you try? So there you go. I've seen this story a zillion times, and it's basically how he likes jobs to be done and found personas to be not good enough. That's his story, so I assume it's true. He keeps telling it, and like I said, I keep feeling like there's clearly no accountability. Nobody seems to have blinked that this guy wasted $1 million on this and constantly brags about it. Everywhere I look, this guy's telling this story. So woohoo, let's hire him. He wastes money and then writes about it and names the company where he did it. Um, I think many of you who watch this channel know that jobs to be done is better than nothing, but I still believe that task analysis is better than jobs to be done. That's my opinion. People can absolutely disagree with that. And also, he's in marketing, so he's got a different perspective than I do. I'm not sure why anybody sent this in. I read through it. There isn't much I feel like saying about it. I guess he did better with jobs to be done because ultimately we didn't hear how it went after that. I could see him doing better with jobs to be done, but I would still hope that he someday evolves to task analysis. If there's anything y'all want to add to that, go ahead. But I'm going to move on because we have lots of things to go through, as you can see from all of my tabs. And so I don't want the show to run too late. Okay, I don't know why someone sent me this. Y'all are going to have to start sending messages with these things because I really didn't get it. It looks like this is some sort of training. Ralitza says, having done market segmentation as well, I can say that was a very poor segmentation he got. Yes. Steph says, from my mentoring session, my feeling is Google course and other boot camps teach marketing personas UX tools. Yes, then people on the job are lost. How does this apply? And no one tells them it's rubbish. Ralitza says, good segments are not only about differences, but actual behavior. Yes, these things should be behavior based. I don't know why somebody sent me virtual speech. It looks like it's going to try to train you to be a better public speaker by putting on goggles and waving your hands around and pretending you're in front of people and then putting you in front of people. I can't speak to whether or not that's a good idea. I think different people get comfortable with public speaking in different ways, and maybe this works for some people and maybe it doesn't. Sometimes I think people send me these things just so that they're getting free promotion on my show. So really, it would be great if you sent some notes with these things so that I know it's not just the virtual speech people hoping that they get some play on my show. Um, Ultimately, I don't think you need virtual speech. I think you just need to find ways to practice public speaking that don't have to cost you anything, since this will cost you something. And I do like to recommend to people that if you would like to get better at public speaking, do more karaoke. I know that sounds wild, and you might be thinking I'm not a singer. And I say, sure, but if you really want to talk about getting up in front of people and learning to grow confidence, it's karaoke. So I recommend karaoke. Costs less. Okay, someone sent me this, and I don't know why. This was a download of a TikTok video from a woman who worked at Meta, and evidently she got paid $190,000 a year. Sounds like she was there about a year, and according to her, she never did any work. Most of the time, they assumed she was still learning the ropes and learning her way through, and having meetings with other people, learning the ropes. I think that depending upon the company, there's definitely time you need to learn your way around a company. It sounded like she was there a year and still not doing much. I think that's a bad sign, and it's certainly a sign that you might get laid off because you're probably not contributing anything of value. So I think I wouldn't want to go more than a few weeks of training and learning things before I'm contributing to projects in some way. Otherwise, it might look like they don't need me. I'm not sure why anybody sent this to me. Nothing I can say or do about it. This is her story, and I assume it's true. Okay, blowing through these. Okay, this one says, now, how do I? This is, oh, look at this. We have a pop up over a pop up for the cookie thing, so I can reject this. Okay, we have a comment from the person who sent this, and the comment was the concept of usability bingo. Have a bingo grid, show some usability testing clips, and have colleagues fill the grid when they notice some things. I'm wondering if this is a good idea. It sounds fun, but how much do people actually remember from those? It's sad you need to go into that level of gamification to get people interested in the research finding. I'd like to critically think about this. What could work, but what could backfire? Because the article is really positive about it. Okay, thank you for somebody who's we have a couple of other comments today, so thank you for those. Those are helpful. Let's take a look. Let's skim through the article. Looks like a long one, so we're not going to get through everything. Make your insights pop with usability bingo. The best way to share insights is to engage your audience. Usability bingo is just what the doctor ordered. So right there, I have questions. I want to know, how do you know the best way is to engage the audience, and what does engagement mean? Because I think that the best way is sometimes to get them to watch videos or watch the sessions live. Okay, maybe with this usability bingo, they're watching a session live. So I guess I'm wondering things. Let's see. I'm going to assume that the beginning is fluff. So let's just get to what probably content. Usability bingo. Notable phrases or quotes from usability text. I couldn't figure out how to apply the discount code. Pain points or struggles the user encounters. Users can fill out the form. Needs or goals the user mentions. I need to be able to search for multi-city destinations and bugs. Instead of people shouting out a number, you put together a bunch of clips from your test that highlight these different sayings, pain points, needs, goals, or bugs. Then, as your team watches the clips, they cross out the spaces on their bingo board. The first one to get 5 in a row wins a prize. Trust me, it's fun. It could be fun, but I definitely feel like we need to stop turning UX work into games and workshops and because I think we're accidentally turning it into Fisher Price. Yeah, Melanie is also reflecting something I was thinking. Basically, you're telling them what to listen for. Um, I would rather spend my time showing people the usability sessions or the generative interviews or clips from these without turning it into a be the first to win the game and get a prize. The prize is we all understand our users. The prize is we all listened to our users and really heard what they were saying. The prize is we observed our users either live or in a recording, and we get them. That to me is the prize. I don't need to turn this into free pizza from me. Anne says, I just logged on and I'm already cringing. Yeah, it is a little cringy. I don't have a cringe video. You can recommend one. So, yeah, I would say I wouldn't recommend this. I also worry that the game is distracting from the reason you're there, which is the real prize, which is get to know the users and customers and their real experiences. So, I think that while this could be fun, I do not want to try to turn our jobs into games because it infantilizes it. It makes it seem like UX is done with dartboards and sticky notes and Twister and games and shouting things out and bingo cards. And I think it really does us a disservice to keep turning our work into fun and games when we know that at the foundation of our work is science. Steph says, yeah, I read that. The goal, from what I gathered, is not to analyze the data, but report it in a fun way. You know, when I think about what's missing from my UX work or what's missing from getting more people to care about my UX work, it's probably not the fun. Now, could you turn this into something where they have to listen for things and whatever? That solves the problem of people aren't listening for things. If you have a team who can listen for things, just show them the things and then have a nice discussion about it. I would like a shirt that says, "What would Debbie do?" Well, because Anne is turning me into a religion from what I hear. So I am done with usability bingo. You are welcome to try it and let me know how it goes. But I don't think it's something I would do because I am concerned about the increasing. Really, I need more Latin words here, but infantilization of UX and trying to. This goes beyond gamification. It's like listen to this, find things and win a prize. The prize is let's get our work done and fix this. So, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Why don't your colleagues approve your mock up? UX Office Politics Explained. Now, I was really surprised at the title, and I haven't even read this article yet. I didn't look at any of these things ahead of time, so I'm surprised by everything today. Why do my colleagues have to approve my mock ups? What is going on in our team, our culture, our process that someone else has to approve my work? I would expect my UX lead maybe to approve my work if I'm not the lead, but I don't want product managers or engineers having to approve my work. I don't get to approve their work. So let's see who this guy is talking about doing the approving. Hey, Ader, how's it going? Oh, I read that one too, and the title is misleading. Okay. I always go past the opening stuff is always crap. So let's see. Appraisals and promotions. How does your company appraise and promote? Are you rewarded for the success of your project? Wait, what is this about? Wow, Steph, that's a really misleading title. What is this about? The title says colleagues don't approve of your mock-up, office politics explained, and all of a sudden we're at how does your company appraise and promote? I'm not getting it. Give your boss a good understanding of what you're trying to achieve. Your boss doesn't know what you're trying to achieve. Steph says it's explaining how to navigate politics. Iton says I like the cats. Yeah, cats with sticky notes. Why not? Tara says can't wait for the recording of this one stuck on a work call. Okay, see you later, Tara. Yeah. Um Desire to influence. Some stakeholders worked hard to earn a particular role in their organization. Your design project. I'm a little bit lost here. And he's also not crediting the illustrations, so I don't know if he made them or somebody else. Steph seems right that this is somehow about office politics, but I feel like that doesn't match the headline. And I'm not too sure what to do about any of this. Wanting to be the smartest in the room. Let stakeholders make decisions and give them credit for design choices. Our designs are not going to be approved if we want to take credit for our work. We should give the spotlight to our stakeholders. Does anyone all of a sudden feel gaslit or manipulated? I'm sorry, but this article is now officially really bad. Democratizing design through workshops leads to better decision making. What? Hello, Whitney. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to read anything else from this person. He seems to believe in democratizing design and never taking or getting credit for your own work. That is more likely to lead to you never getting promoted. It could lead to them thinking you don't do very much and so you can be laid off. No, I'm going to go with no on this one. Kayleen says I'm here for exposure therapy. Yeah, I know some people find this session to be kind of negative or difficult to watch because it's like the worst of the interwebs, but good way to practice critical thinking. So yeah, I think this article is giving some bad advice and so it makes me not want to read the rest of it. So I'm going to move on. I'm done being gaslit. Okay. Melissa, whoever she is, what's the difference between a product manager and a product designer? Okay, that's certainly a question that's come up a lot lately. Let's see what Melissa says. Recently, I've come across multiple posts from product managers that list exactly what my day to day is like as a product designer. This got me thinking, what's the real difference between a product manager versus a product designer? Who owns what? And what is shared between these two roles? Is there a consistent difference between these two titles, or does the main difference come from the company that hired these two titles? I gave myself 30 minutes to workshop this out. It's so funny how we use the word workshop for everything now. You drew a Venn diagram. I'm not exactly sure that was a workshop. I decided that in this case, the product designer owns the full design experience, which may group two roles together based on a company's design team. I created two Venn diagrams. The bottom version is based on my design education and my first years of work between 2017 to 2022. The top version is based on my experience in my current role between 2022 and 2023. I wanted to create two versions because this is the first year I've been challenged to really think about who owns what when creating products. And I think she's saying this is really the first year or so where we're really seeing product managers trying to more aggressively, um, land grab UX work. So here's her Venn diagram. I'll zoom in a little bit here. And the bottom is the way that work looked to her from 2017 to 2022, where product designers or UX designers or whatever they were called, research and testing, problem definition, feature prioritization, archetypes and personas, journey mapping, solution definition, user stories, information architecture, user flows, design system, wires and mockups, content writing, workshops, usability testing, visual design, interaction design, and prototyping. Steph says, it'll be fun when there's a big diagram. Iton says she lost me. Um, then a product manager did project management, which I also saw a lot, financial modeling and pricing strategy, aligning the team, metric and data analysis, stakeholder management, success criteria, and trying to fill in gaps. I have to agree with her. I didn't get to the middle here, but I did see that same kind of thing when I worked in Silicon Valley. I think that is a pretty good definition of the differences I saw between a product or UX designer or researcher or UX team versus what a product manager did. It was often a lot of project management, metrics and data, and managing stakeholders. Hey, it's Wilson under the name Maroon. And she's saying where they crossed over was discovery, strategy, mission, helping with developers, use cases, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what is she saying is going on now? Now she's saying there's a lot less that each one can claim as their specialty, and there's a lot more in the overlapping. Now, personally, I think I would draw these different based on what I'm seeing from product managers and from what I'm seeing from product manager training. I think that the product designer nearly doesn't exist, and the product manager thinks that all of these are theirs to do. I've certainly seen product managers who thought that they needed to make wireframes, that they needed to run workshops, that they wanted to do usability testing, that they were going to do interaction design and prototyping. I mostly do not see product managers doing visual design or content. I think everything else the product manager seems to think is not only theirs, but in some cases, wholly theirs. And that if there are UX people, the UX people are there to just clean up whatever they've done. Now, what is she saying we should do about this? Nothing. She didn't say that. She just said this is what I'm noticing. I'm noticing something similar, but that's why I'm fighting it. I think we have to fight it and talk about it rather than let it go. Steph says, I'm not a big fan of definitions where it makes it sound like product designers or UX designers never care or never deal with stakeholder management and or business requirements. I agree. The more we are disconnected from what's going on in the business, the more people see us as the pair of hands that get pretty screens made. And they don't see us as strategic partners. So we do have to get more involved in the business. I agree. Next, we have an article that says, what is product led growth? I already don't think very much of product led growth, but let's see what this person says it is. Product led growth is a go to market strategy that uses the product as your driver throughout all stages of the customer life cycle. Compared to versus, what's the opposite of that? What are our other choices? If our product is not our driver throughout the customer life cycle, what would be? Typically, in a sales led organization, it's the product and how we sell it. In an engineering led organization, it's engineering the product so sales can sell it. And in some sort of product led growth universe, whatever the heck that is, it's the product again. These are all product centric. I'm not sure if anybody is customer centric here, but I think everything is product centric. So I'm not too sure how this is different or better or worse than anything else. I don't think this person makes that clear. Product led growth involves enabling customers to onboard themselves into the product without human interaction. Is that does everybody agree with that definition of product led growth? That is not what I thought product led growth was. I did not think the focus of product led growth was onboarding. And anybody else have a definition of product led growth or an idea around it? Yeah, Credence says that is a strange definition. Yeah, that's not the way I thought saw it. Usually when you see growth and growth hacking and growth mindset, it's usually about how do we grow our customer base? Growth. How do we make them satisfied so that they stick around and they're loyal and we retain them? So I'm not even sure if I agree with this person's definition of growth or product led growth in sentence number 2 of the article. Because then she says, product led growth is for a user to try before you buy. So upgrading to the paid version of the product is a no brainer. Now, in this person's half defense, not that she necessarily needs or deserves it, the link the person sent me for Critical Thinking Stream was to her LinkedIn post where she said, I wrote an article about product led growth based on some things I read about it. So, what we probably have is someone who read some things about a thing, ended up with a minimal or possibly skewed view of that thing, and decided to write their own article about it, which again, I warn people about things that look like fake thought leadership. People are now going to find this article in search results and think this is product led growth. And if they run into someone with a different definition, they might end up embarrassed. They might not get the job. Here they're saying a sales led model is about acquiring customers, monetizing, engaging, and expanding. But in a product led model, first you acquire customers, then you engage with them, then you monetize, then you expand. I'm not sure I would agree with that either. I don't think that's necessarily product led. I see that as maybe more of a startup way of doing things, where sometimes a startup says, we don't need to make money just yet. Let's try to have engagement. Let's see if we can get people to sign on and use this thing, and we'll worry later about monetizing. So, this doesn't seem to me like product led growth. This seems more like a startup model, not the only model available to startups, but a startup model. Steph says maybe she asked ChatGPT to write it. You know, at this point, that is possible. Is there a disclaimer at the bottom? I asked ChatGPT to do this? No. And there's Blue Ocean Strategy in here, which I've just been complaining to people about for the last day. And Credence says it sounds like product led growth means the product becomes the sales funnel, skip the sales team. I don't get it. So I'm moving on. I don't think this is a strong article. Even if the writing is okay, I don't think this person is clear enough on the topic to educate us. I would suggest that people not write articles about things they're not sure about or still learning, unless the article is very clear. Hi, I'm still learning about this and I wanted to write about some of my learning journey. Here's what I think product led growth is. Help me out. Is that an interesting article? Maybe, maybe not. But I think it would be more honest rather than passing this off as this is what this is. Steph says, I'm curious about your complaints about Blue Ocean when you have time. Yeah, to me, I think of Blue Ocean as a way to identify opportunities, but I don't see it as a way to necessarily build strategy. Blue Ocean strategy, which is Googleable, is where you draw this little chart about where your competitors are weak in things so that you can try to be strong in those things, thereby creating some of your differentiation. But those are generally really broad explanations. Oh, my competitors write microscopic, tiny short books. So I'm going to be different by writing medium sized books, longer books. Ooh, that's a point of differentiation. But that still doesn't tell me what to write. And it still doesn't mean I've written the right thing or I've written well. So I think Blue Ocean can help you think about some opportunities for differentiation by making sure that you're different and better than your competitors. But it's a lot of looking at competitors, and it still doesn't give you the strategy of how you're going to follow through on doing the right products or services or experiences that achieve successful differentiation. I hope that helps. All right. How to build team rapport as a UX designer. Did this one come with a commentary? No. Okay, but we did usability bingo. Cross that off the list. Okay, how to build team rapport as a UX designer from Avocademy, which I think is like a boot camp. So they start with what is rapport, which immediately makes me think this is kind of an SEO thing because we want to get a lot of buzzwords on the page. Thank you, Steph. Um, Whether you're in a leadership role or part of a team, you play an important role in building team rapport. So I think I'm getting a lot of SEO keywords here for team building, team rapport. So, how do you build team rapport if you're a UX designer? Now, you're in the audience, you're here today. How do you build rapport with your team? Kayleen, random thought. Do you think requiring a reason for submission would improve the quality of submissions? Kayleen, I think if I wanted to improve the quality of submissions, there should be a question that says, do you already know what I'm going to say about this? And if they say yes, then I say, let's not submit this. You already know what I'm going to say. If you genuinely don't know what I'm going to say, let's do these. But if you already know what I'm going to say, because I'm pretty consistent, then I think we could cut down on some of these submissions. So you're right, Kayleen. Maybe I'll take another look at the form. It's a survey in Alchemer, and maybe I can make it better. Thank you to Kayleen for always inspiring me to be better. How to build rapport. Know your strengths and weaknesses. A little weird, but okay. Maybe before you can build rapport with others, you need a little self awareness. I guess that's possible, though that's not usually something I think of. Like, wow, I'm going to go join a new team today. I'd better stop and think about my strengths and weaknesses. I guess you could do that. It just seems a little unnatural, a little forced. Steph, yeah, but sometimes you need to say it, even if people know you will say it. Yeah, I don't know. Who am I helping at that point? Use active listening and communication skills. Active listening involves closely listening to what someone is saying and indicating that you've heard what they just said. I don't know about y'all, but I mostly hear about active listening from therapy, like psychotherapy, and couples counseling. I always worry that it's going to come across as strange in the context of a work team. Like Anne says, why is it a designer's responsibility to build this rapport? Well, active listening would be, so Anne, what I hear you saying right now is that you're wondering why it's a designer's responsibility to build this rapport. That's a little piece of what active listening can be. It's not the only way to do it, but that's often what it's usually at couples counseling stuff, like make sure you're really listening to the other person by being able to say back to them what they've just said so the other person can say, "Yes, you have really heard me," or "No, hold on, that's not what I said." So this sounds a little weird to me. I usually don't practice this with people unless I think they're saying something bullshitty. Then I'll repeat it back to them. Okay, so you're saying that even though we know nothing about our users, the best thing for us to do is guess. Anne is crying. Use positive body language. Open, open all the things. Okay, don't open all the things. That'll get you sent to HR. Positive body language. Again, these sound like couples counseling things, and I think that this can make people look a little weird. Nodding, making encouraging sounds and gestures, and smiling and making eye contact. And let's remember, eye contact isn't comfortable for everybody. Not everybody is a smiler. This sounds like be a very good robot blonde wife. Smile and nod, and yeah, you're really building rapport right now by being untrue to yourself by putting on this mask. I mean, that's the way I feel about this. This says put on a mask. But yeah, Whitney says maybe they mean listening without the intent to defend yourself, just to hear. Hard to say. If the article's not going to tell me, I'm going to end up guessing or making it up. Anna says, why is an article with content about leadership titled that way? This is how to be a good leader. Utilize empathy. Everybody knows I am so tired of talking about empathy. Look for things in common. Hey, you like puppies. I like puppies. Ice broken. Ask open ended questions. What are your plans for the weekend? What are your thoughts on this project design? Ooh, don't ask that unless you really want them. Steph says, I don't understand the title versus the content again. Yeah, let's move on. We got a lot more to go. Show is more than half over, and I'm only halfway through these. This is an article that says user flow evaluations, why heuristic evaluations are old news. My immediate impression from this article, having not read it, is this person thinks that heuristic evaluations are outdated, but they have something similar that they're doing instead, and they wanted to give it their own name. Is anybody saying user flow evaluations? Is this something they're trying to make up? Right, 10 results. So this is something this person is trying to make up. I'm going to make up user flow evaluations, which is so different from a heuristic evaluation. I won't be using any heuristics at all. I am not going to be looking at visibility of system status. I don't care if it's easy to get help. I'm looking at something else. That's my guess based on the title. Let's see. UX has progressed to the point where usability heuristics are ingrained in our collective practice. Oh, by the way, we got a comment with this one. I just laughed at this sentence. Most of the tools we use on a daily basis don't follow simple heuristics. Why do people want to kill old things that worked perfectly well? Can we critically think about this? Okay. And in the chat, Anna Lucia says, oh, trendy research methods. Love it. Milky Drop says, ha ha ha. At my work, we call heuristic evaluations UX best practices review. Absolutely fine. I tend to call them audit or assessment, and part of it is heuristics and part of it is something else. Whatever. Make it your own. We're flexible over here. The traditional heuristic evaluation no longer leads to the same level of dramatic business changing insights. To me, that's up to the heuristic evaluation. I'm also not looking for drama, but if you were looking for a dramatic business changing insight, a heuristic evaluation could hypothetically uncover these things, but I've always felt that you're more likely to uncover these things with observational or interview research. That's really where the drama is. When we watch the users and hear the users and see them, that's going to be way more dramatic and hopefully business changing versus a screenshot I took of a crappy part of our site with a couple of bullet points about why it's so crappy. What is today's equivalent to heuristic evaluation? The answer is heuristic evaluation. Heuristic evaluations are still relevant. Heuristic evaluations are still done. They are still things that some companies and teams ask for. Now, sometimes they're used in place of research. People say, we don't have time to see what users like or don't like about it. You're an expert. You go through this and you tell us what you think needs to change. It might be better than nothing, but it's not a great replacement for good generative research. Jeff says in many places where I worked, common sense wasn't that common, and a lot of issues could be fixed with heuristics already. So I'm not sure about the collective practice intro. Yeah, and again, heuristic evaluations are not out of style, and we don't have to act like they are. When I do my audits or assessments, I start with heuristics and then I add a lot more to what I'm looking for when I move through somebody else's app or system or product. I'm looking at accessibility. I'm looking at their navigation. I'm looking at information architecture. I'm looking at, does the content seem to be written in a compelling way and for the target audience? Some of those are not heuristics, but that doesn't mean heuristics are out of style. So I don't think this person has done a good enough job setting up their perspective that heuristics are out of style. They just throw out there that the heuristic evaluation is not leading to dramatic business changing insights. Maybe not for her, but that would be a reflection on her because critical thinking would make us ask, how do you know that? Where'd you get that information? What's your source? Or is it an opinion? Opinions are okay. You can write about opinions, but where'd you get that? User flow evaluations take the principles of heuristic evaluation and apply them within a greater system, a user flow. Well, I don't get it. I'm already doing heuristic evaluations and my audits and assessments on flows. I'm visiting websites and apps. I'm moving through them based on common flows that the user would be doing and tasks they would be doing. And I'm looking at what the experience looks like and what my thoughts are on that. So I don't get that. I'm already applying these to a user flow. Like larger scale UX audits, the point of user flow evaluations is to uncover opportunities, not come up with solutions. What's a user flow? Okay, what's a user? This is a really long article for this person trying to invent their own heuristic. Well, we've talked about this on this channel before, and I tell people if you want to make up your own heuristics, you are absolutely welcome to. If you want to use current heuristics and add other things like I do, that's cool too. But that doesn't mean heuristics or heuristic evaluations are old news. I think this person just made their own heuristic. Ana Lucia says, isn't this an article on heuristic evaluation where someone decided to call it another thing for the sake of click? It does seem that way. It does seem that they're saying, oh, don't do that. Do this thing that gave this whole new name to. But if you scroll down, it looks like they just made their own heuristic. Oh, no, these are Susan Weinshank's heuristic. So don't do heuristic evaluations. Do heuristic evaluations, but with Susan Weinshank's model? What? All right, moving on. Okay. This is an article about balancing the user and the business, but it looks like they have a full screen overlay trying to get you to sign up to their email mailing list, which already tells me they do not walk the walk related to. If you claim to be anything related to CX or UX and you pop up a join the mailing list, I immediately believe you really don't know much about CX or UX. You are not an expert. You are not a thought leader. There's no way that you could be into CX or UX and think that my reason for coming to your site is to have everything on the screen blocked with it not immediately being clear how I even close this overlay, which I assume it's an overlay only because I have some tech savvy. Join your mailing list. Should we even read the article? Why give them the play? Ultimately, I can say no thanks. But that wasn't a good experience. Do I really want to hear these people's thoughts on CX and UX and what's best for the user. Do I want to hear this company tell me what's best for the user? Do you hear me? Anybody feeling this? I feel like I don't even want to read this. I feel like I don't even care what these people have to say. They've already told me when it comes to balancing what's best for the user versus what's best for the business, they choose the business. If you're going to pop up and join our mailing list, you've chosen the marketing department over me, period. Ana Lucia says, what's best for the user? Don't bug them. Don't bug them. Don't interrupt them. Understand their task. Why am I here? I'm here because someone thought this was a good article to read where I'm going to learn something about balancing users' needs and business goals. But you don't walk the walk. You popped up a mailing list thing. You didn't balance user needs and goals because if you did, maybe in the middle, because if your article is that freaking good, maybe in the middle you do a little break and you go, do you like articles like this? Join our mailing list. That would be balancing. But popping up an overlay that at first didn't have a clear way to close it, I don't want your advice. This is like the service design course I dropped out of, where it was like, oh wow, these people are bad at teaching and bad at this and bad at that. Now I don't think I want to learn service design from them. Can't walk the walk. Moving on. Okay, so lots of people are talking about this. This is syntheticusers.com. Obviously, I'm against this. They're claiming that you can do user research without users. So evidently, we don't even need users in user research, but we're still going to call it user research. That means because these aren't real users and they're just AI, we don't have to pay them. We don't have to recruit them. We can just have AI pretend to be our users, and that's going to be good enough. Oh, that reminds me, for next time's critical thinking, uh, we got to make sure we look at. Yeah, who's been hanging out in our Slack community? Free to join, everybody, deltacx.com/links. Who's been hanging out and seeing the conversation we've been having about ChatGPT recommending things you can buy for Debbie, who is a 50-year-old woman? Um, that is basically what these users are probably going to be like. And the way it tried to boil me down into what a 50-year-old woman likes or needs or wants was not confidence inspiring. But evidently, all you have to do is ask these made up bot users some questions. You can make your decisions with confidence. Confidence that you have asked, I don't know who, about I don't know what. 32-year-old logistics manager lives in a four-bedroom in Madison, Wisconsin, loves computer games, in a long-distance relationship, has a cat, and both parents are dead at 32? I am so sorry. How did that happen? Ana Lucia says, how can we ask about their experiences if it's AI? AI never had the experience. It's not sentient. Yeah, exactly. I have so many questions that I don't want to ask because I don't believe. Oh, we're going to mitigate product risk because we're going to test desirability with bots. Steph says, very nice. 1 million euros persona. We are full loop. You're going to optimize your product because you're fake. The bottom line on this is that there's going to be an arc. The arc is going to be this is fast and cheap. Let's do it. Companies are going to do it. They're going to hopefully have some governance or accountability. They're going to find that they're human users who aren't these AI two-dimensional representations, reject some of the things they've done or all of the things they've done. There's going to be a mismatch there. And eventually, if anyone is counting the money or counting the time or counting the lost business, someone is going to have to say, what users did we talk to that where we thought that that was a good idea? Milky Drop says, I'm curious about the diversity of the AI models that are used or the data that was used to train these models. So true. We know there is so much racism in ML right now. Whitney says, bound and determined to delete the human element that's required for actual experience data. Yes. Steph says, can't wait for more bias tools building on those. Bring all the isms. Credence says, a white male trained AI will purchase your product. Feel confident in your inclusivity. Yeah, exactly. And this poor guy got drawn as white, but he's black. I've got bad news, or at least he's black presenting in my eyes. I could be wrong there. How is this used? Is it a chat? Is it a virtual interview? Yeah, I don't even know. But you're going to get meaningful feedback from fake people. Hey, only 7,500, what are they charging? Only 380 US dollars. Can AI have accessibility needs? Good question. Here's an example of what an AI participant would say. The too much choice. Because this woman said, I felt overwhelmed with choice and I would simplify it, which may or may not be her real problem or her real solution. The AI might say the same thing. I don't know how the AI would know to say that. Yep. Melanie, that looks like one of the useless personas we keep seeing. That's right. It's so funny. We keep seeing all of these articles and things about stop making crappy personas and blah, blah, blah. Um, So here we go. Look at this. People in long distance relationship. 16-year-olds in Orange County? I feel disconnected from my family because I am far. I want a way to stay connected to my loved ones. Solution: a heart pendant that allows you to hold and feel their heartbeat. Is that really the right solution for wanting to feel more connected to someone? I feel more connected to people when I convince them to join Telegram and we start sending messages more often and we send voice messages and I can hear their voice and have these fun asynchronous conversations with them. That's how I feel more connected to people. That's got a human element to them. Their pendant giving me their heartbeat is creepy. Is it really their heartbeat? How did we get their heartbeat? Is the other person strapped to a heart monitor 24/7? Insights and learnings. Maybe add a small speaker or vibration. See, this is when you do feature oriented design, it's just the fire hose of ideas. There's no prioritization. There's no real sense of user needs and opportunities. It's just the fire hose of ideas. And sure, ChatGPT can be a fire hose of ideas. It doesn't mean any of them are good. And was this supposed to be a $200 item for 16-year-olds? Am I seeing this correctly? Melanie says, well, the good news is the guy who spent $1 million on creating useless personas will only have to now spend a few hundred. I like that. Product fit. Yes, it solves my problem, but it's too expensive. Does it really solve your problem? I've been in many long distance relationships, and when I think about what I needed to feel more connected to that person, I can't imagine it was to wear a necklace with their heartbeat. And if the necklace malfunctions and I stop feeling the heart beating, will I be afraid they've died? Ana Lucia, why are they even using the big five personality traits with fake AI? It's a bot, it's not human. Yeah, so 16-year-olds in long distance relationships. Yeah, let's not do that. Or go ahead, let your company experiment with this and then keep a close eye on how it goes. When you release this to your users, when you release the $200 beating heart pendant to your users, you tell me how it goes. Not a real product. No, I thought I heard something like this was happening. Okay, we got a comment on this one too. Sorry, we're going to run late today. And that was, I'm confused by this article. What the person describes as product design is what I do in UX design. Same for the data driven UX designer. Aren't we already doing that? And then, yes, UX design in enterprise, UX or fintech. Again, it's UX design. So I'm like, but everything described here is UX design. So what the hell is UX design? That isn't enough for this person. All right. Thank you. So this says product design is overtaking UX, and it's because we're in a weak economy. So this already says clickbait SEO title to me because it's got some key buzzwords: product design, UX, weak economy. Oh, Steph says it sounds like the pendant from a cozy fantasy romance I'm reading. The mage gave her girlfriend a pendant she can touch when she is far away, but they use it to communicate. Yeah, this wasn't communication. This was feel the heartbeat. Um, Understanding why UX is not enough and 3 ways to augment your skills. Okay, so the first thing that I notice here is what is the definition of product design versus what is UX? I thought product design was part of UX. So, how does product design overtake UX? That's like saying the steering wheel is overtaking the car. The steering wheel is part of the car. Can't spell treason without T. My job title recently changed to senior product designer instead of senior UX designer. Oh no, is this just going to be about titles? That's a bit of a weak thing. That's a rallying cry that's occurring right now. Uh, so what? So what if we start calling it product design instead of UX? I was there in 2017 when this started happening. Maybe this guy wasn't. People are missing the point of why. We're in a weak economy. We need more than UX. What's more than UX? Can't spell treason without T. Funny. Um, uh, I don't know. What's more than UX? CX? Service design? I don't get it. So let's see what this guy thinks you need to do to upskill in a bad economy. UX doesn't do well in weak economies, especially with tech layoffs. Yes, thanks to design thinking, design sprints, lean UX, democratization, and other things that tell everybody they can do our jobs and they don't really need us. We're being laid off in record numbers, and I'm not sure those jobs are coming back because we did a really good job teaching people they don't need us. So, what's he saying? This is keep the light. So, what is he saying? Augmenting UX with business knowledge. I don't get it. That's what we teach on this channel. We teach UX and CX with business intelligence, customer intelligence, risk mitigation. This is already what we're doing. Oh, he's reading continuous discovery habits. That's a product manager who thinks product managers can do UX work. So I am not sure about this guy. I wonder if he's new to UX. UX GPT 3.0, UX Prime. Yeah, so of course, Teresa Torres, who is trying to figure out a way to make product managers still relevant in companies, they're going to make decisions based on business needs. Designers will make decisions about usability and the user experience, and engineers will make decisions based on technical workload and feasibility. Teresa Torres didn't invent that. That's a traditional prioritization framework that's been around probably longer than Teresa Torres. So she didn't invent this. She's just using it. I hope in her book, she doesn't make it sound like she invented this. That's usually, in fact, that's the prioritization framework Larry Marine teaches, and we know he's been using it for 30 years. So product designers conduct user research. No, I would still like researchers to do research. This whole article just seems like garbage to me. I'm not too sure why we're still looking at it. Data informed UX designer. I wrote a book about this. Well, there you go. We figured it out. I wrote a book about a data informed UX designer. So did I. Except mine is about qualitative data. I don't know what yours is about. Who wants to learn more about his book? Data Informed UX Design. 0 rating. Data Informed UX Design. Good luck. So I guess that's what he's doing here. He's plugging his book. I understand. Sometimes I'll plug my book somewhere, but I'm not sure we're getting anything out of this article. I'm not sure it's meaningful, actionable, and helpful. And he seems to have a definition of UX that I don't think on this channel we would agree with. Kayleen, do I need to field bad submissions? LOL. Kayleen, you have better things to do with your time. I just know it. Now we've got 2 more today, and they're both from some dude named Akash Solanki. Because I got 2 of them, it made me wonder if Akash sent these in. But I can't prove that, and I don't know. So let's just look at them quickly, and then we'll wrap up our show a little bit late. Oh, did we lose Anne already? Stamp of BS, stamp of meh. Yeah. If Anne is still here, Anne, we used to do a rating system of dogs. So when something was really terrible, it got 1 dog, and then we had 2 dogs, and 3 dogs, and 4 dogs. And if something was really great, we gave it 5 dogs out of 5. So once in a while, you'll hear me or someone on the channel say 5 dogs out of 5 because it's really good. But the problem was so many of the things y'all send me are 0 dogs out of 5. And so I stopped putting the dogs up as the rating system because it was so often 0 dogs out of 5. They don't even deserve 1 dog, the lovely Romeo. No, I didn't get rid of I stopped using the dogs because everything is freaking 0 dogs. Let's look at everything we saw today. Which of the things we saw today deserve 5 dogs? None of them. Did anything deserve 4? No. 3? No. 2? Not to me. Was anything kinda good and deserved 1 dog out of 5? I'm not sure. Kayleen says 0 stars to be a cat. Anne says, what about dog shit rating? Possible. I don't want to put that up as a picture, though. It's much nicer to put up the lovely happy faces of my 5 children, the lovely dogs, Romeo, Teseo, who's that? Pizzolo. I think that's Olivia, and then Diana. Diana, the famous low ego action hero. Ana Lucia says, one of the first advice I received when I started reading about UX research was avoid Medium. Yeah. So here's our last 2 from Akash. I don't know why anybody sent these in. They're kind of weird. First, he says, are we just trying to make life easier for everyone so they can spend more time binge watching Netflix or scrolling through TikTok? Who needs critical thinking when you've got the technology to do all the heavy lifting? Wink. And then he's taken a screenshot of his own tweet. So it's like self-referential, returning people into lazy button pushers. I can't find the problem here. I would like to make life easier for everyone. Well, that's my goal in life. My goal in life is to make life easier for all of you, everyone. Jihad is here. How are you? I didn't realize daylight savings time is over. I'm an hour late. Yeah, sorry. Italy changed their clocks about a week ago. So sorry. We're now an hour later. Sorry, but good to see you. We've got 2 more things. So yeah, you are late. You are late, but we're happy to see you, and thank you for being up so late where you are. So I don't see the problem with trying to make life easier for everyone. That is the point of our job. So they can spend more time binge watching Netflix or scrolling through TikTok. That's just judgmental. There's no reason to be that judgmental. If we make someone's life easier and free up some of their time, I welcome them to use that time however is legal and appropriate. That's it. If you've got more spare time in your life and you'd like to spend it watching Netflix, please do. So I don't understand why we seem to be judging this harshly, as if we're turning you into a button pusher. No, you're not. You're not a button pusher. Even if you're pushing buttons right now, and so am I, you're not a button pusher. Who needs critical thinking? So this suffers badly from the meaningful, actionable, helpful Venn diagram. This doesn't get any of them. This isn't meaningful. I can't tell what this person is saying. I feel like I'm reading a language translated in a weird way. I don't know what this person's saying at all. I don't think it's helpful. I don't feel helped by it, and I don't think it's actionable. What are we supposed to do? Not make life easier for people? Yell at them because they're watching Netflix? I don't get it. This is not meaningful, actionable, or helpful. Yeah. Cherish says, make their life easier so they can write bad LinkedIn posts. Oh, I love it. Where's my Here we go. And finally, Akash again, which makes me think he's sending these in, but he doesn't know he's going to get roasted. People, if you send things in on this show, you are probably going to get roasted. Have you not been watching the show? This is not free marketing and advertising. You are probably going to be pooped on. As Triumph, the insult comic dog would say, your article is very good for me to poop on. Anne says, I think it's sarcasm. I think I've been advocating for a sarcasm font for ages. I think there was sarcasm in there, but it was still a meaningless post. Maybe you can get ChatGPT to warn you when your post is meaningless. Akash also says, for example, for example of what? We appear to have started in the middle. For example, a navigation app that is intuitive and user-friendly, so users no longer need to think about the route they're taking or pay attention to their surroundings. Okay, that mostly sounded good. I would love a navigation app that's intuitive and user-friendly, and I would love that users don't have to think about the route they're taking, though they probably should still pay some attention to their surroundings for safety. Over time, this has led to a generation of users who are unable to navigate without the assistance of technology as they have become overly dependent on easy to use interfaces. Well, this guy just seems to be against ease of use. I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. It sounds like this guy wants things to be full of friction and difficult. Uh, yes, I think it's okay if you're dependent on an easy to use interface. I'm absolutely dependent on Google Maps. I don't feel too badly about that. I'm glad that Google Maps is right 95% of the time and mostly gets me where I'm trying to go efficiently without me having to think about my route too much. Steph says, I'm cringing because so many people struggle with inaccessible websites, and this dude is complaining about easy interfaces? Ableism? Right, exactly. Do you want more friction? Thank you, Steph wins for today. P.S. We want your stickers. Um, uh, Maybe he's talking about a tour guide. I don't even know. But yeah, do you want to go to someone with accessibility needs, a disability, a diagnosis, or a condition and tell them they are too dependent on an easy to use interface? What an absolute middle finger to real people. Yes, I agree with you, Steph. It's ableism to me. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that angle, which is why I love this show being audience participation, because very often y'all think of things I didn't even think of. And so I love that. That's, why I want to be surrounded by smart people. These days, I'm getting a lot of these thoughts in my mind. Thoughts? No. No, thank you. 47,000 followers. The guy is all influencer mode garbage. Yeah, I have just under 30,000 followers. It's not a contest. It's not about you know what size, but I don't know what people are getting from this guy. If you're getting something out of it, great, but I'm not getting it. Let's see. Kayleen says he sounds elitist and judging people as lazy, and lazy is bad. Dr. Brett says, regarding the article, products that make life easier for users are going to win over products that don't. Yes, thank you, Dr. Brett. In a competitive marketplace, your product will lose if it requires more effort. Yes, thank you. You also win for today. You can be our co-winner. There is no prize. As a designer, we're trying to reduce the cognitive load of users. Here's him quoting his own tweet again. But what if we're actually making them dumber? Okay, well, first of all, dumber is a word we're not saying anymore. Ableism. Second of all, reducing cognitive load doesn't mean you're making someone less intelligent. This is unbelievably elitist and ableist. I'm extremely dissatisfied with this post and ultimately this person. Brett says cars made it easier to get point A to point B than horses did. Was the motor vehicle a bad invention? Are we creating a generation of users who can't think critically or solve problems because they've become too reliant on? No, no. What is wrong with having a generation of users who appreciate and benefit from technology making things easier for themselves? Why are we putting people down for taking advantage of easy to use technology, whether or not they have disabilities or have accessibility needs? Why, why, why? Why? This is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Please don't send me any more from this guy. Seriously, he does not deserve the attention. Yeah, Anna Lucia says, I'm just waiting for his post about, oh, generations can't read a map. Yeah, I would say, okay, boomer, but he looks half my age. So I don't know what his problem is, or maybe he took some course that says write really inflammatory bullshit, and you'll get lots of people pressing like. But I don't get it. Cherish says maybe we should throw out our smartphones and laptops while we're at it. That's right. I'm gonna go chop wood with this plastic fly swatter because why should I use a saw or a chainsaw? I mean, that is just, I'm just dependent on easy to use tools. I should go chop down a tree with this plastic fly swatter. Yeah, Kayleen says, and my glasses. Yeah, I'm supposed to wear glasses. Instead, I just bought a huge TV. So I don't have to wear them. I promise I wear them for driving. Hey, Shweta, how long have you been here? Intuitive and user friendly are starting to trigger me. They're annoying and overused. Yeah, but we still want things to be intuitive and user friendly, even if we don't like hearing those terms. So, yes, I've been saying those terms for 27 years, but they work. They make sense to people. Hi, I make things user friendly. They get that. I think I can even say that in Italian. I think they get that in Italian. So yeah, uh, sure. But I would rather say user friendly and intuitive, even if they're old terms we've said a lot, than poop on user friendly and intuitive as if that is some sort of curse or thing we don't want. I don't get it. So goodbye to this one. Here's some previews for next time. And oh, I still have meaningful, actionable, helpful up. Someone should have said I forgot to clear that out. Sorry, some of my effects are on timers. They go out automatically, and some of them I have to manually take off the screen, as some of you have, I'm sure, noticed. So yeah, that sucked. That was a crappy ending. I didn't know that was coming. That sucked. That was a lot of clickbait. I'm sorry, but I agree with Kayleen in that maybe we need to have a little bit of gatekeeping or something. We can't have this much garbage every week. Why do we never get good things? We so rarely get good things. Are there any good things out there? Is it really all garbage? It can't be. Somebody's got to be writing good things. It can't all be bad. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Oh, yeah. So we're 15 minutes late, but let me tell you what's coming next week because we also are coming into some religious holidays for some people who are religious and observe the holidays. I'm not religious. I don't observe the holidays, but here's what we have cooking. Monday, April 3rd, I'm going to be doing a show about contracts, NDAs, and asking for contract changes. I don't have too much prepared, but someone sent me a contract, and we're going to walk through it and take a look at where contracts sometimes work against you and how to look out for these things. Ultimately, it's best to have a lawyer, but here's how to recognize some key red flags. Steph says, honestly, I think I share 10% of what I read. That's how garbage it is. Kayleen says, no, good stuff doesn't get engagement. Tuesday will be office hours. Ask me anything. Looks like I have no guests. Wednesday is book club. Book club has been fun. We're almost done. Book club is up to chapter 20. Thursday is our monthly community networking. Will you all please join the monthly community networking? It's on Remo. It's not here on YouTube. It's on Remo. We're at little tables talking to each other, getting to know each other, becoming friendly. You don't have to talk about UX. You can talk about UX. It's just a way for the community to get to know each other better and make more personal connections. I keep hearing people want to do more networking. Show up to this thing. It's free. So that's Thursday. You can always find the calendar at deltacx.com/links. That has our Google Calendar that'll lead you everywhere. Friday the 7th is a special stream next week and especially long. I am going to be doing the new long version of my new conference presentation called Don't Democratize UX and a Governance Model for Those Doing It. It is from mostly from chapter 12 of my new book, Customers Know You Suck. And it's all the ammunition you need to fight against democratization where you work. Will it work? I can't tell you, but it's got lots of good arguments for you to use to fight back. And if you're still stuck democratizing, it has a governance model so that you can oversee this. And if it's not working, do something about it. Um, I'll try to come. I have to pack up my bags. Okay. Hope to see you there. So that's Friday the 7th. The following week, we've got Easter Monday. I am going to stream something special on that day. I'm going to walk through the lush.com website. Now, we peeked at it a little bit a year or so ago for Larry Marine's knowledge design micro lesson in the micro lessons playlist. But every time I go to Lush, I feel like they keep redesigning their website to be worse at knowledge design. So we're going to take a longer look at the Lush website and how they're not using knowledge design and really how much of their website is just bad design. And that's our Think Out Loud for Monday, 10th, April 10, Easter Monday. Going to be Think Out Loud there. Tuesday the 11th should be office hours. Ask Us Anything with Dr. Nick. I have to check he's still available. Wednesday the 12th, last book club. Thursday the 13th, I'm working on a panel discussion that currently includes Darren Hood and a few other people who are going to be talking about the future of UX. I think many of us are concerned about what is that, and so we're going to do a panel discussion there. And then we'll be back to critical thinking stream 2 weeks from today. So anything you send in at deltacx.com/links will be done 2 weeks from today. But we need to talk about how to get some better stuff coming through because a lot of it, I just feel like everybody knows what I'm going to say. Is it still helpful, meaningful, actionable if you know what I'm going to say? I don't know. You tell me. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, good weather, good health. Keep me posted on what you're up to. And of course, join our Slack and Discord communities, which are free. And as always, please subscribe. We are still shadow banned. I really hope that maybe once we break 10,000 subscribers, we will be less shadow banned or not shadow banned. But we are still creeping our way to 7,000. So please tell everybody you know about the channel and the fun we have here. Quetta says, to clarify, I mean, they're used by people who don't understand what it takes to make intuitive software. Hey, how did John Norman get up there? I took him down. All right, I got to take him down again. We are taking down the Don Norman emoji. I thought I took him down. How is that even there? All right, I'm going to go work on that. And again, everybody, thank you so much for a fun and lively critical thinking stream. Thanks for your great input and comments. All of you, great to see everybody and some new names. Great to see Whitney, who's back, and Brett, the usual suspect, Ann and Kayleen and Steph and Chiwat. And gosh, who else was here? Elliot was briefly here. Who Ana Lucia, Melanie, gosh, I'm scrolling through the chat. So many. Milky Drops was here. Credence, Aitan, Wilson, Adair. Yeah, great to see some of the regulars. Ralitza, Educate.ie, someone in Ireland. Hello, Joe, catching the tail end. Yes, we had daylight savings in Italy, and now we're back to our old usual distance in time. So remember, our shows are always 6:30 p.m. Italy time. You'll just have to check how that relates to where you are. Oh, Ian. Okay, Ian sneaking in under a different name. Okay, well, thanks everybody. See you around the Slack and Discord community, and see you next week for lots of shows. Bye. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are